All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Quack and Smite League. We have the Pawns versus the Catgirls in this playoff match. Who do you have favoring going in here, Louis? Oh, oops. Derp.
Yeah. Well, from the teams that I play with during our season, I gotta give it to the Pawns. They a pretty solid team. I mean, as well as Ross team is really interesting team as well. They both pretty good actually, but I think I might have to favor the Pawns a little bit this time. What about you?
I'm gonna go on the opposite side here. The Catgirls. I've heard they've been working on their skill, synergy, all that. So hopefully that plays out. But as we are in picks and bans, the bans for the Pawns is an Ama, a Persephone, and an Ardeo, and the Catgirls Atlas Pele, which I believe is a direct ban to BD, and then a Bastet.
Let the Shiva go through, and maybe they will pick up the Google mission here.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. It might get some flack, but I don't think Shiva's all that good.
Uh,
He's better in the jungle than he is in solo, and solo he's just hurting. And they do take the Cthulhu, the Cleo. Cthulhu being a big boy.
That may be your undoing.
Well, they either gotta put the Shiva in the jungle or the solo if they want to get like a counter pick for this Cthulhu in the solo lane.
They're gonna have to take the Achilles, and that's gonna force the Shiva into this jungle, and out comes Arc 5's Ganesha, which is the standard pick there. Ganesha being a very good god,
Standing no barrier
push to stop anyone from playing the game.
Pretty good against a Cthulhu as well with his ult.
Zeus.
Hmm.
I like the Zeus pick, but I also don't like the Zeus pick. You have a Cleo who's going to be able to go on him. You have the Cthulhu who's going to be in his face. So this Ganesha has to be
Electric
on the ball, peeling for
justice!
him, or this Zeus could be picked out very early on in fights.
Leo gotta wait for the Zeus kick to be thrown. If not, if she just dives at him with full kit, she will instantly die. Because Zeus got the insane damage.
Zeus does have insane damage and does hit like a truck. And
I
to
am
round
the
out these top
shoguness
threes,
of
we see an
sorrow.
Izanami.
Mm.
I still think Izanami has one of the best lane clears, like rivaled only to that of maybe a Medusa.
Yep. I'm surprised Medusa, I guess, hasn't got picked yet. Since she's been in play a lot right now and she's really, really strong. Oh, she
Vapor
got banned either
shots.
way.
Yup. You're not seeing a Medusa get played, so uh, rounding this out, Medusa Camazots and Medusa Camazots for the Cat Girls and a Thoth Scylla, focusing on that mid laner of reporter support. That does still leave
Oh,
Soul. They're going for the double ADC. It could go one of two ways. You're either gonna take
Super
every objective on the map, you're
Nova!
gonna do great, or you're just gonna fall apart.
true, true. I'm guessing maybe we might see a Fafnir for this double ADC, or just more of a laid back support just so they can just free cast in the back line.
Maybe a Kepri. I think a Yemoja is still open, which a Yemoja would be not too bad. Separate, the tank, all that. As we do see a Gilgamesh, so the Shiva, there's still two flex picks going here. So I think Shiva might end up going the jungle because I know Achilles JC does love him some Gilgamesh in the solo lane.
I'm surprised no one got like a execute for this Cthulhu. Just instantly get him out the fight whenever he gets low in team fights.
Yeah,
And,
I,
and
I would have loved to see an Achilles.
yep, Achilles, mostly Achilles. I thought
It's
Achilles
just
famous for his
Achilles.
Achilles.
Achilles execute, like any god with an execute, is fantastic into the Cthulhu. A Thanatos is also really good, but instead we see an Uller going to the dual
Uller,
lane.
interesting. Um, how do you
Uh,
feel
Glory
about
be to
that?
mine allies!
it's a toss up because if he goes Bluestone, which most Uller, and there's the Fafnir you were thinking,
Yep.
I
which is
love
excellent for this
gold.
team comp, but Uller, you know, I don't know how to feel about the Uller pick yet.
And well,
It's
for me, when I play Uller, it's like 50-50. If I hit abilities, we can do something, maybe win the game. If I don't hit abilities, so yeah, we gonna lose this game. That's how I feel like when I play Uller. But
yeah. Uh, you either have to do really well on Uller or you're not having fun.
hmm at least
Yeah,
he will be able to like 1-2 shot the back lines, like the Soul and Izanami, but everybody else, I'm not sure.
they're gonna have Achilles JC is taking the Shiva into solo lane into the Cthulhu. I do believe that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen.
Mhm. Uh, out of this team comp, which side do you like the best?
I'm still favoring the Cat Girls.
Cat girls.
I think they have no true way to shut down this Cthulhu. They're gonna have like they have a very heavy dive comp here with this Gilgamesh, this Shiva. This Uller wants to jump a wall and axe you and then arrow you and one tap you, leaving the Ganesha and the Zeus basically to peel for each other. well, not peel for each other, but the Ganesha to peel for the Zeus. Where on the other side you have the Fafnir, the Cthulhu, the Cleo, the Soul, the Izanami. And with a meta that has Frenzy in it and Fafnir stem existing, for a double ADC team comp that's just gonna burn any objective, any tower, they
I don't
have to
think
be on the ball.
I don't think the pawns have really anybody to just to shred down the Cthulhu on his own. He's gonna just be running at the Zeus in the back lane. That's gonna
It-
be like his main focus if they want to win like team fights.
and the standard Zeus build is quite tanky, which doesn't offer a whole lot of pen. So it's gonna be difficult to shut someone like that, and it's forcing this Uller to go into. He can't go ability based. He has to go a pen build. He has to get that kin size. He has to go auto attack Uller.
Mm-hmm. Even though I favor the pawns, I like the Catgirls team comp rough right now. It all depends if they play it perfectly and play how the comp should be played.
Yep.
Besides that, no, Rook.
Who do you favor in this jungle match? A Cleo versus, I believe, a Gilgamesh.
Tough. I just know, maybe I'll say Cleo because she just has that insane damage, like very like late game. But all depends if the Gilgamesh can hit his drop kick. Once he hits you, that drop kick kind of pretty much dead.
Yeah. And I believe the Cleo Scream can stop her from being drop kicked, so she plays this right as he
Oh
goes to
yeah,
drop kick
true.
her.
Yeah, I forgot
She
about
can't be
that.
hit into a wall.
Yeah, true. I forgot about that.
When I was playing Atlas one day, I forgot about it too, so I went to pick someone up. Did not work.
Mhm. And also, I remember I just
Luckily,
noticed too, the two junglers on both sides were teammates from last season, and they
speedy and
both,
high altitude.
yeah, and they both are really aggressive junglers as well. So let's see how that's gonna be played out.
I'm expecting a lot of early aggression out of them because we know they like to play aggressive. We know they like to get in there. So I'm hoping that we're gonna see a lot of mid 3v3, maybe some solo lane, maybe some dual lane ganks.
Yep. Well, yep. There goes the Zeus bill going to defense.
Um, as we head into game, we do see the Ganesha immediately upgrading that bracer. I'm honestly, you're gonna get out cleared by the Izanami.
Yeah. Either way. Yep. And
Yeah,
they
you
got
have
frenzy as well. So yep.
yep a Fafnir with frenzy, and he upgraded to bracer of brilliance. I believe that's like a full upgrade. He doesn't have pots, does he?
He does.
He's got one hog and one pot,
So,
so that is Ganesh. I'm sorry, but you know that kind of start favors a Fafnir,
Minions have spawned.
just because of Fafnir passive. In my opinion, it's a very greedy start.
yeah, I feel like he should. If they go to this dual lane, he should not use that early, cause either if they use it, it might just waste it, cause that Izanami should outclear him even without the frenzy being
Good out
popped.
clear. I'm expecting the moment this Fafnir steps up to wave, and there's the frenzy. Yep. Ganesha stepping. Yeah, you put down the bracer. You've lost dual lane pressure immediately.
Yeah.
They're still clearing the wave. In the mid lane, though, that came close to hitting that Zeus.
Mhm.
Nothing really going to these back camps. I do want to touch on this, but the mid lane starters here. We have Zeus going Eye of the Jungle versus a Gilded Arrow.
I thought it was gonna be.
I thought it was going to be a Destal.
Yeah, same.
Destal. I like that item. It's basically free sustain, and we do see a gank in the solo lane. Both junglers rotating over. Cleo dealing a fair chunk of damage to this Shiva.
Shiva.
Yeah, I derped on the name for a second there. And this is the dual lane pressure that I was talking about. It's a Fafnir and a Izanami. It's rough. You see Soul throwing a little bit of damage out at Speedy, but not too much. And we do see a very interesting start solo lane as well. Shiva going, I believe, the standard build for Shiva as well. Bluestone into a Soul Eater. Never mind, a Scuffle coming out. Ooh. Both getting really low. Shiva popping his health pot there. But Cthulhu does have that Vamp Shroud, so he's going to have a little bit more of a...
Sustain there.
Yeah. And he does have TP. Shiva has Blink, so he can leave that wave at any time and just TP back to his tower. And back in this duo lane, like, Izanami Fafnir just, you know, out-clearing by a mile this Bracer of Brilliance, not having the impact.
What do you think of these ADC getting mana pots? I thought maybe multi-pot would be more useful since it gives you health and mana at the same time. A little bit more sustaining.
I'm 50-50 on going like a health or a mana pot. It depends on like what your starter is and what you're going. If in a circumstance of a Death Toll and an Izanami, like she's lost like no mana.
Yeah.
We do see a Scuffle reporter support getting hit by this Gilgamesh. Maybe this Zeus comes around the corner, drops a a little bit of a cheeky ult there. Cleo oh, that Cleo dash. The Cleo dash. Oh. Oh. Gets into the wall. That's unfortunate. If I'm this Gilgamesh, I'm going. That's unfortunate. Shiva starting his Fortnite dance, and Cthulhu dropping Descent into Madness, and Shiva actually losing that trade because Cthulhu Chonky Boy. And this Uller is looking to maybe get a little frisky, but nothing else. Zeus ult coming out to try to kill this soul, but
Yeah,
Disapparate is,
Oh, he missed a hammer from Fafnir.
that is, if that hammer connected, I think that could have been a kill. Meanwhile, over here, into the wall again. High Altitude has... Oh, that's unfortunate. High Altitude playing on this Cleo has gotten into a wall every time. This Gilgamesh has not been allowed to drop kick. Very unfortunate.
Both teams going back and forth with players with low health and surviving.
Spread of in there. Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Uller.
Oh, Uller.
Buddy boy, we don't want to be up here. Your Zeus is out of mana right now. Like, that's a bit of a problem. We do see the first items being finished in the solo lane. We have a Celestial Legion Helm versus a Soul Eater. I think Cthulhu just kind of becomes chonkier. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a huge fan of Cthulhu, but I am a huge fan of Cthulhu because Cthulhu, with played in the right hands and against the right kinds of matchup, can kind of be a raid boss if left unchecked.
Can't let him get ahead. If not, man, would be hard to kill.
An unchecked Cthulhu, like it's kind of like an unchecked Ardio. If an Ardio is ahead, she's kind of just oppressive and unkillable.
Just can 1v5 the whole team.
Yeah, 1v5 the whole team, and you know, it's like, huh, she's not dying. This is a problem. We do see a gank come out though. Cthulhu looking for this as the backhands aren't invaded. Shiva deciding to Fortnite dance once again, but Ganesha's over here. A huge Gilgamesh dropkick into Dharmic Pillars. JKT17 will fall to the Gilgamesh there. Crediting Speedy with a double kill there. That is not what you want.
Nope, can't let this jungler get ahead. Oh. The Fafnir got the early upgraded Frenzy.
Yep.
If they're gonna do that, they should be looking for early objectives. Especially if they have two ADC, just shred them instantly with Fafnir both in a Frenzy.
I don't know what just happened there, but I think people missed a lot of autos. Fafnir jumping in there, CC chaining this Gilgamesh, making him not enjoy any bit of that time. Fafnir turns into a dragon, you know. It's basically like 3 seconds of free CC of his team to just wail on you.
No, yep, especially if they have beads. You're stuck there.
You don't got beads, you're kind of just forced to take it.
Yep.
It is how it is. Do you see a Cleo looking maybe to gank the Shiva once again? This Cleo has been in this. Ooh, Shiva getting his little bit of block stacks and CC immunity there. You can that dash into that though can be stopped, basically negating the effect of that. With a little bit of a a Fafnir hammer coming out, Cleo scream coming out.
No.
We do see the Celestial Legion help coming out, and I do believe the next item in a Zeus's build is what, Void Stone?
It should be a voice. If not, we got some.
What? Jade Emperor's crown?
Oh, I mean it could work too.
We do see a little bit of a 4v3 here in the mid lane. Uller rotating from duo to pick that kill up. Ooh, I am Corball falling to Little Bean with Zeus detonate. Zeus, you have to shut down Zeus. You can't let Zeus get unchecked either.
We're looking at this go right now. They can't do anything about this just besides Izanami can steal this over.
Izanami maybe looking to steal his ult here. Uller throwing an axe there. And dying for it because he didn't beats.
That was big for the pawns there. Got the Golf here in the kill. We'll get this ruler ahead now.
Yeah, the Ganesha back over here trying to get his gauntlet of Thebe stacks going. General Talia picked up Zetman. You know, I don't hate it. I don't like it. I'm kind of just like, me personally, I'm all for the process of support or jungle is what it goes on but I understand why you don't want maybe your jungle to pick it up, but your Ganesha, that's free damage for your support just to be wailing on someone while they're face tanking. Zeus all coming out as they pick up this Pyromancer.
QSL put some wards up in the middle. They can't let the pawns just get every objective without them noticing.
Yeah, a lot of just unchecked. This Cleo looking for a gank. I wish this Cleo would just, maybe focus out the Zeus, He's gonna run rampant if you let him, and Uller going for that ability-based build. Ooh.
No, it would be hard. It'd be hard to kill that Cthulhu, but I think
It's
everybody else should be fine with.
Yep. Every squishy that Uller will one tap, but that Cthulhu could become a problem. Shiva kind of going, I'm gonna. Cleo screaming. And, oh, another Ganesha ult coming out. J-Bane has to follow his lane partner. Fafnir transformation coming out in the corner there. Cthulhu. Oh, Soul ult coming out. Ooh, drop kick coming out. Fortnite dance coming out as well. But Soul picks up the kill, followed by the Shiva picking up the kill there. Arc 5 still fighting. Zeus could rotate in here. Kind of. JKT has to be careful. Shiva looking to pick up the kill here.
Go in and get this kill. Oh.
They're gonna opt to force for the tower. Shiva taking a good chunk of damage there.
Yep. Cowboys gotta look for some farm. They got a farm now because they 5k gold behind.
5k gold behind, and again, Izanami finally beating the axe, but taking a good hefty chunk of damage to this healer. Already having her Aussie finish though. He's got Uller having the fully stacked trance though will chunk right now. What is this Cleo going into, you think? Because I don't think there's any way she goes into a Transcendence, right?
I mean, it might look like that because she goes the Heart Seeker because there's a lot of go wasting and you need to farm up more. You gotta get some items. You gotta get some pretty cheaper items to go online real quick because they behind and go and then
There we go. A good chunk of CC, but Shiva is over here looking to brawl. And out comes the Fortnite once again, being silenced. So you, oh, good. The length of that dash is crazy, but gonna get picked anyway. Speedy picking up the Soul once again. This Fafnir I thought was going to be a great playmaker for this team has provided to not be as impactful as I would have liked. This Ganesh, on the other hand, has been in just about every single fight.
This Pong is running all over the place right now. The Catgirls can't really do anything. They can't farm or they can't really team fight. They gotta farm up and catch up in gold and levels.
You gotta do something. And currently the back cap's being invaded, and I don't see any Catgirls wards really on the map. They were screaming once again. Gilgamesh just jumping away. You need more vision.
No.
The Pawns has taken objective after objective without you knowing. So you gotta prioritize those wards. You can't be like, you even have wards in your pocket. Put them down.
Especially with their team comp, they should be looking for these early objectives, have the objective timers, because they can easily take down these objectives.
The objective shred. They drafted a beautiful team comp to take these early objectives, and they're not doing that. It's instead, a Soul's gonna get collapsed on because she has no vision.
They can't be. They gotta stay with their tank. They can't be just out there by themselves, but they get picked off easily.
Yeah, and they're gonna pull this Gold Fury once again. Descent into Madness is popped onto the Shiva, who's gonna dance in the back. But Chaos Knight is gonna pick up that Shiva, and here's the problem with the Cthulhu now. Look at how much damage he took. Oh, out comes the Zeus ult, but he's gonna take a huge chunk of damage.
Yeah.
They started off the fight so well, and then they just they split off. What do you do to fix this? Like,
they can't really do anything. They can't just they just got just behind. They can't really take these team fights. Look at these damage numbers from the Shiva, the Gomish, and Dueler. And look at their backlines. Another team, they can't do anything.
Yeah. They're taking Fire Giant at 16 minutes in the game. It's a free Fire Giant at that. Like, you cannot let the pawns run the game this way. You have these pawns have started deathballing since like 10 minutes in the game. You have to match that deathball. You can't be off in your. I get you're an Izanami, and I get your whole draft plan. I believe was to split push to win, but you can't do that.
Mhm.
You have to play around the fact that you drafted a team comp that has a amazing amount of shred. So utilize that shred.
Yep.
You're giving up objectives. You're giving up fights. And it was a dominance, which
For their team comp, since they have a Cthulhu, he's gonna be super aggro. Just should be going after the back lines. With the jungler, trying to make a lot of space for the back line, just free Kaz with autos and everything.
You have no vision, and this is what happens. I hate to harp on one thing, but wards win games. Not knowing that the enemy team is ganking your lane. I mean, an Uber running at you should be a great indication, but wards help you to know, like, hey, maybe it's just two, maybe it's just one coming in, not the whole goon squad. And they're just running it down.
Mhm.
Who do you look to be your beacon of hope right now?
For the QSL, it's the back line. They gotta do something. Cause I think the only way the QSL can turn this around is all they gotta do is farm up, defend after Phoenixes, and hopefully the pawns will make a mistake where they can just turn around and just push down lane and just slowly come back to the game.
Gotta make something happen. Because right now, the pawns are running the show.
Yep.
12k gold up.
Yep. Just gotta farm up.
The Ullr has gone so heavy into ability base. We see a Zeus going into an Ob Shard. You have to rely on this Cthulhu to be your soul tank, and as much as it hurts to say, your Fafnir has to be the one peeling.
You gotta stay back and peel, because their backline's not putting in damage.
Yeah,
Either they're not putting damage or they can't, because their backline is getting dove in.
There's also a great thing about Fafnir stim. It's in the text there, but you also do you get the attack speed bust, but you also do increase damage. So you have this. You drafted a phenomenal team comp. Now you
It's
have to
not playing
utilize it.
right.
Yeah. You've let the pawns take every objective in the game. Basically, for the most part, and look at this ward count.
Look at a team, they all got wars, sentries. The QSL is we're starting to get wards now.
Yeah, we're getting wards on the map.
Yeah, once their QSL's backlines able to put out some damage and do something, they can turn this around.
Yeah, and the pawns are already on that objective, ready to go.
Yep. At this point, I think the Cthulhu should just stay back as well and just keep the backline. Because he won't have no follow-up. He's the only one who's go up there doing damage. Oh.
If you're in this situation, what do you do?
The only thing that you can do at this point is farm and defend, and maybe just fight for the EFG. Just get them the regular fire giant.
You gotta hold out for 9 minutes before EFG spawns. You're gonna have to hunker down and hope that it works out for you.
The leader can try to fuck me during fire, because I don't know, they can't really do anything.
And they immediately dropped Fire Giant because they have a ward knowing that Cleo is there. But they didn't full drop it. They're still on it.
Nope. Just gonna wait for the Cleo to come out. Oh, Cleo 1 HP. Okay, there's nothing seen.
Nobody saw the Cleo. They dropped it because she went into the wall, and now we're gonna... We knew they were on Fire Giant, but maybe we're gonna get left lane T2. Maybe there's a beat I hope here. The split push. The Shiva has to recall to deal with the soul. That's a plus. You got the split push. Your soul is getting back in this game by just pushing down lanes. But you need this Cthulhu's engage tool to that Cthulhu's ult is the go button for you. That's the guys. We need to focus the target out. And Arc 5's taking a good chunk of poke there, and they're not going to siege that Phoenix. They're going to go to the next. Or I would. Okay, they're just going to reset. I would have thought they would have maybe went for a Phoenix siege, but we don't like this around here.
They might just push down left lane.
Left lane is the best lane to push down.
Mm.
Furthest from the objective, so if someone has to go, and you do go to another objective pull, but if we look at the positioning of this Catgirls, they're getting run down right now because they aren't grouped.
No.
We have 2 in mid and one in left going, yeah, I'll stop 4 of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fight all 4 of you. Come on, bring it, Let me put on the gloves, which is great when you're ahead. Fighting 4 people when you're ahead doesn't feel horrible. But from behind, trying to 1v4 hurts.
One thing the Cactus can do just farm up, but also the pawns cannot let them catch up as well in farm. They gotta take advantage of this huge lead they have, since they can easily do anything, punish them, since their backline is not doing damage at the moment.
I mean, we see an Izanami at the bottom of the player damage charts. And that's the go button for the pawns. The Shiva blinking into the backline here. As they just hard commit onto Zeus ulting back. But Cthulhu, being a Cthulhu, kind of taking that. You gotta help your Cthulhu now. He did a good chunk of damage. He kept them zoned away. But
so on the backline, there's no follow-up.
On the other end, a Shiva just zoned away the entirety of the Catgirls. So your Cthulhu zoned the backline, but in the same regard, he doesn't have that big team fight tool now.
Dude should try stay back with his backline, because he has no follow-ups. He can do damage, but you won't be able to get no hit or anything. His team
on nope. I thought they were gonna pick up the 1 HP Gilgamesh, but he gets out. But Cleo deciding to blink after him and getting picked instead.
That would have been huge for the Cleo, but not for the Gilgamesh. He already max build, max. already level and everything. He's just missing his starter, but he should be getting his starter when he gets back. Also, what'd you think of these jungle builds? The Carol build got upgraded Jonas and Dominance.
The
Air Knight.
the pawns are running a triple front program. With this Gilgamesh's build, yeah, he's got some damage, but if you look at a lot of it, it's a lot of prots. You got Berserker Shields, Shoguns, you have Pestilence in there, and you have your damage items like a Serrated and a Jotun's Vigor. Protector of the Jungle giving you power, but also giving you those prots in the jungle. And that just makes for a like, you do not want to fight this Gilgamesh in the jungle. He's like running into a tank, like just a full-on tank with a little bit more damage.
Oh, guys, so way ahead and go.
17k up. You have to look at something. It's got the only one who's, oh, I'm sorry. Well, now the Izanami has managed to farm her way up, but no one's here to defend the Fire Giant. Another free objective for the pawns.
They can't defend this. They just gotta. They don't have full builds yet.
They can't defend it, but they stepped up like they were going to defend it, so it's kind of like out comes someone
Shiva
pop
just
in
running at
Entangling
them.
Wings.
I
Shiva,
think Shiva.
does Shiva have Entangling Spring? I am Cornball transforming and just about getting deleted. Cthulhu Descent into Madness pop, taking out these two big pieces from the backline, but they're gonna just end the game.
They can't. There's not much they can do.
At least it wasn't a werewolf fight.
The Cthulhu doing a great job, doing everything he can. Just their backline, just not putting in the work that the Cthulhu is making so much space for them. We're trying to make so much space for them. Just pushing the backlines away. And Achilles just going in there in the back lines like it's nothing. Yep, see, Shiva with the tangle of wings.
I'm kind of like, Uh, if you're the Cat Girls, what do you do? Where do you go for the drawing board?
Play around with the comp they had. It should be playing around what the comp can do. Get that early objectives. Not let them get objectives for free either, because no one came around there to check around besides these Nami and that Gold Fairy.
Arc 5's
Okay.
having 26 wards, but you know that's also Bracer of Radiance, so you know half of that doesn't count.
Oh man. The Cat Girls. Look at the damage from the Cthulhu out of everyone in his team.
Like, Cthulhu was your beacon of hope, and
Mm.
you drafted a very good ADC focused team comp. You had the Soul, you had the Izanami, and you had the Fafnir, which perfect. You have a Cleo who has 2 charges of an ult for an objective shred. You have Soul Ult to secure that objective. You could have pulled any objective once level 5 hit onward.
Especially with as well, Fafnir had that upgraded frenzy too. They should have
They
been
had
looking for
Frenzy.
early objectives.
They had the team comp to do it, but they just didn't do it.
Yep.
But I think we're going to throw it to a break and figure out what the Cat Girls are going to pull in game 2.
Welcome back, QSL, to game 2 between the Catgirls and the Pawns. I'm replacing Neptune right now. He had to go cry a little bit after that first game. So, but Sir, I am Sir Ionicus, and then we still have Louis here.
It's your boy.
And yeah, I got to tune a little bit on that last game. Definitely didn't get to see how the draft phase went, but seeing the game, looked like a little bit of a one-sided show.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I was.
No, not much to say about that first
Yeah,
game.
I will say, I was looking, and I definitely think that JKT on that Cthulhu, um, something I've just noticed that a lot of the problems with the Cat Girls is that they don't want to they don't have the greatest communication sometimes. But I think going into this game too, I think if they play around JKT, sit down, say, hey, we need to play around JKT here. He's making these big plays, or just because he was zoning 3 people off while behind. And then you had on the other side is just, you know, Shiva running at
Yep.
the end. Shiva and Speedy running at the whole rest of the team while Cthulhu's just sitting there. It's interesting.
Yep, doing
Uh,
his job.
I mean, they're definitely doing their job. Um,
Mhm.
that is for sure. But going to these next picks and bans, um, what do you think the V-Catgirls need to do, like picks and bans wise, going into the next one? Because obviously they picked something very objective focused and it didn't work out. So,
Well,
uh, it's
Let's
looking like
see. Let's see if they can fix some mistakes and let's see if they can play their team comp like it should be.
yeah, definitely. It was a little saddening to see you have this full team, like you have Fafnir with 2 ADCs and then a Cthulhu and a Cleo to do all the zoning. But as we go into this bans phase, you got Amaterasu, Persephone, pretty standard bans. Persephone just kind of a really strong mage, that's really annoying to deal with, and then Amaterasu, strong there. Not surprised by the Shiva ban either. He did do a lot actually. That CC immunity just allowing him to walk in Catgirls' faces and then
Walk out easily.
yeah, it's like you walk in, like for 4 seconds, do your damage, and then you leave at the last pick. Or you don't even need to do that because you have an ult or ult dash that makes you CC immune halfway through it. So,
No.
um, definitely a powerful tool, to just have all that CC immunity.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at this and like Thoth's open. How do you
Dove, Bassett, Goga. A lot of open right now. Oh, yep.
and they're gonna lock in the Basta. I mean, you don't respect the Basta. You just lose to the
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a little disheartening to lose the Bastet, but Bastet does have her counters, so hopefully going into this other side, they get 2 strong picks, like the Zeus, which is also a big component of
Electric
the Pawns draft,
justice!
and the Gilgamesh. 2 really strong picks. um, yeah, I mean, you lose the Bastet, but you get Gilga Zeus. Like, I feel like that's a lot more worth at that point.
Yeah.
Just-
Especially he's doing insane damage in team fights, and there's Goga as well. 2 insane damage dealers versus 1.
Yeah, and not even just the damage of Gilgamesh either. And like, yeah, Gilgamesh does do a lot of damage, and he can, but with a tanky build, he can do it. But also just the setup as well. You got Gilgamesh's
Yeah.
drop kick. You've got Gilgamesh's
Oh,
Winds of Shamash, 2 very very good tools.
damn.
But on the other side, you've now got a Thoth and
Oh,
a Fenrir. Thoth,
good pick. Well,
I'm a,
It won't matter.
Time to hunt.
I
that's
want
a
to see how this
worry.
goes
Yeah. I'm trying to
because
see if that's gonna be a Bassett solo and maybe a jungle Fenrir.
Could be Bastet solo Fenrir jungle, or it could even be Fenrir support. Maybe they're trying to reprise the support. He's not as good as he used to be, but he still has the capability to be a support. And his damage numbers didn't fall off. He just lost a little bit of time in that. But great pickup by the Catgirls here to get that Ganesh to just maybe counter out
Mhm.
that Fenrir and
I will leave
lock down
But
standing
both.
no barrier
yeah,
to
and the
our
bat set as
success.
well. Just not let her jump away when and free cast.
Hmm. And it's just like
Mm, It
my
is.
my biggest thing here is I know for a fact in laning phase this Zeus is going to get bodied by this Thoth if played correctly.
Yep. Thoth can do
But
insane damage from a distance.
if the Catgirls can hold on in mid, then I think that Zeus might outscale the Thoth a little bit. I say that as Thoth's just a big late game god at that point, but um, I mean your objective shred is better, your just team shred is better. Uh,
Plus that defense spell and do damage. That's really good on Zeus.
mhm. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Ross uses that going in the mid lane. But it looks like the bans the Achilles and Guan Yu on one side, just trying to ban out JKT. And then on the other side, they're banning out General Talia, getting these high pressure ADC picks out of the way.
Let
Um,
me see the Cupid.
I haven't seen a Cupid
Oh,
in a while. I,
Same.
I will say it isn't a bad pick though. Like going into Bastet, who wants to leap in, leap out, you lock her down when she leaps in. Thoth wants to dash out if you get too close to him through his wall. He can't do that. Fenrir, two of your abilities are now gone. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is actually a pretty big pick for them. As long as Chaos the Knight can pull this Cupid off and be in the team fights this game, instead of split pushing, that Cupid could do a lot of work for him. Especially with Ganesh, Gilgamesh, Zeus. Like that's a lot of this is just like big circles, big damage, you don't get to leave,
Yep.
is what I'm thinking.
I pick what a Chiron.
You only hit
And a
what you aim at.
throwback. Oh,
I mean, oh yeah, the pawns. The
Me
pawns
booty
are.
is the best booty.
I'm praising like the cat girls for getting a good draft. But now I have to look at the pawns as well. So their draft is the cat girls want to draft and it's like if you go in, we lock you down, you don't get to escape, we just blow you up. The pawns on the other side is literally how far away can I hit you and for how much? With Fenrir being able to lock someone down, Bastet can jump in, jump out, and then the Sobek also being very, very good to like not let the Fenrir risk too much when he picks someone up in Ragnarok, rather than pulling them to the team and then getting the
Death
damage off. So,
awaits.
and Thanatos, I don't know about the Thanatos, man. I'm gonna be
that's one
100%
of
real.
that's one of high best gods.
I mean, if it is,
Oh, I think
I
he's
don't.
one trick. I'm not sure if I remember right. One of
If
his
he
one tricks he has.
if he is a Thanatos one trick quote unquote, this will be very very interesting to see. I know for a fact that there's another Thanatos one trick in the league who's pulled him off very very well. Even in other comps, it probably shouldn't work. But I mean, I, I just gotta think the Thanatos is gonna be good at maybe locking down a stray pick. But if the pawns are just gonna group up like they did last game, you aren't gonna get a stray pick. So it's a little bit we'll
Hmm.
see. I feel like you have to play for the executes on this Bastet and this Sobek, specifically the Sobek.
I mean, they do got Zeus, so Zeus like gets them all grouped up and him that chain damage, get them low enough, and Danto can get like a free kill with Zoe.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the other thing is just having them set up. I guess like if the front
Yeah.
lines are just over aggressed, you jump in on them, and that sets up your whole combo. But um, that does mean the Gilgamesh is going solo, and I'm not too sure about that. I know Gilgamesh as a jungler is huge. You have all the setup and all that, just but
Yeah.
how do you feel about it in the solo lane? I'm a little hesitant.
Hmm. Uh, let's see. Oh no. I mean, but Sega's can just has more poke potential than the Gilgamesh. She's just go in and goes out.
Yeah, this is gonna be especially rough. I mean, you don't get the use out of Winds of Shamash or the drop kick as easily because he's gonna be sitting over here in the solo lane for a good portion of the game. So, I mean, if JKT rotates out early, he can get the maximum value out of that Gilgamesh solo. I'll love it, but I feel like they should have probably pushed that somewhere else, specifically jungle, just so you can have that value on the map. And more so, it just dwarfs my dwarfs my thoughts on the freaking Thanatos. It's like, why would you go Thanatos instead of Gilgamesh? It's just an interesting, I don't know, interesting decision by the Cat Girls. We'll see how it works out, but
Yeah.
the pawn's definitely looking a lot stronger.
Yeah, I feel like the Cat Girls got a solid like a team fight draft that can just lock you down in team fights. Then the pawn just like more like a get a pick and you die. Like they got the soul back in the Fenrir. They pick someone or just pull someone. They can make the fights like a 4v5 every time.
Yeah, and maybe not, like we didn't even highlight this in the picks and bans, but you've got Fenrir ult, and then you have ranged Fenrir ult on the side of the pawns. I think that's gonna make it a lot easier for them to do, as you said, this pick-based comp. Like they already have the Thoth to poke people out. They already have the Chiron to ult people, and the Sobek to pluck. And now you've got double Fenrir ult essentially, just one at range. But looking low here in mid, high altitude. I was like, Ross, high altitude? Look at the names on. But high altitude, getting a good scythe on Little Nino, but fortunately doesn't quite do that much damage this early in the game.
Just be careful with that five in early game. I mean, it does a lot of damage early, but you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, Thanatos is definitely early game is his game, but I mean, here he comes going back toward the mid lane a little bit. As there's a gank over in right lane. Just Lineman Nelson coming over here to maybe make JKT their the win con that they could have played around a little bit uncomfortable over here with this Bastet. And high altitude lurking, waiting for little Nino to come out, but misses the side, takes a tower shot in return. Might be a little bit too far up if Lineman Nelson wants to come into this, but decides to back off, go farm. Ooh, Ross a little bit low, gets caught by the Thoth and the Fenrir, maybe even getting high altitude here. And there, 2 kills for the pawns already early just by Thoth poking.
They got 3. They got the one in the duel.
I'm gonna be honest, I was paid attention so much to the fight in mid, I didn't even notice the one in duo lane. And another in solo lane. The pawns are coming off running at the start of this game, making last game so much more convincing and wanting to make this game even more so.
This is a rough start for the Cat Girls.
I mean, what was it, like 4 kills on the pawns, like 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in last game, and now it's what, 2 minutes to 4-0.
They're gonna abuse their major lead they had last game and this game.
Yeah, I mean, a little Cat Arc 5's plucking Chaos tonight here, but General Telia just not on the same mark, looking to go for his farm while Sobek's looking for the aggression, but they are gonna pull this purple buff here. And the Cat Girls are just not gonna let them have it. I mean, Ganesha is gonna try and steal, but a little bit late on the mark, and this might catch them. The Giddy Up coming and catching them, but Ganesha using his only way of escape, trying to just aggress, but nothing didn't come out of it.
The Cat Girls gotta play it a bit more slowly and safe, because the pawns got a draft that can just pick you out and you just die.
Yeah, I mean,
until Cat Girls, their Cat Girls have more like a team fight comp, and now the pawns got them picks in each different lanes.
I mean, it is a little bit rough going into this a little bit early, but Achilles jumping in, maybe trying to clear the wave, but JKT not wanting to do the damage, but Lineman Nelson back Fenrir ultim, and that's gonna be that. Achilles JC baiting perfectly for his jungler there. He even gets the Gilgamesh ult in exchange too. That's really, really good for the pawns, and not so great to see JKT down 0-2, not even 5 minutes in the game. But
I said they gotta play slowly because they can easily get picked off. And they gotta put some wards as well because there's no wards. So it's getting easily ganked.
yeah, I mean, definitely a thing to look for, because especially now that that's 2 ganks from this Fenrir onto that Gilgamesh here, and if I'm the Gilgamesh here, I mean, if I'm JKT here, not even forget Gilgamesh, if I'm JKT here, I want those wards high, because last game, JKT was the win con for the Catgirls. If they played around them, and this game he might not even be able to do that, but Thanatos kind of lurking over here, maybe looking to do something with this Bastet. Catcher trying to be aggressive in her farm, but unfortunately she's gonna be a little bit wise to it. I think that is a their ward on that Harpy there too, so knows he's there, and high altitude wasting a lot of time here trying to go for this gank, and not until he sees the cat does he realize that Achilles knows he's there.
Just looking at him while he's waiting for him to push out.
Looking at him, autoing at him, jumping at him.
He's like, hey, I can see you. Why you still here?
Oh, Thanatos gonna ult in on the throws. Great beads, but just a little bit off the mark. I feel like again, communication maybe a little bit off, or maybe Ross trying to bait the Thoth into walking toward him, but another dropped kill here on the Catgirls. Just not the lack of communication really hurting them a little bit here. But as we go on, everyone just kind of doing their farm and whatnot. That is a I can't really see it, but it looks like a 3k gold lead and XP lead, and that's just, I guess it is 5 kills to 0, but like it's 5 kills to 0, and like I don't know, that's a rough start. You're already 2k behind. An objective hasn't even popped yet. And rough.
The pawns can look for maybe an early objectives again.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit rough going for this Gold Fury side, because unlike last game, Chaos Tonight is keeping a little bit of pressure over Telia, but Telia looking to fight here. He's really looking to fight. If he comes out with the ultimate,
yeah.
as I'm about, you know what? I was speaking, saying Chaos Tonight's holding his wave like lane well, and then General Telia had to go and shut me up right away. General Telia gonna immediately make quick work of that cube and make sure he cannot do much and open up a potential Gold Fury play. But Catgirls do have vision there now. It's whew. But both teams kind of slowing off now, and as it's slowing off, I mean, we're looking at builds now. I mean, that's an evolved Soul Eater out of Bastet, Berserker Shield out of Gilgamesh. How do you feel about these builds going forward? Especially, I'm interested in the Chiron build, to be honest.
I think so far the build. I think Chiron might go maybe ability base again did last game. We should actually. There goes some trends.
It is a good god, but Thanatos ulting and looking on this Bastet now that her jump is down, but catches her, but gets the beads, gets the ult. Gilgamesh jumping in, but the vortex from the Bastet ult there slowing them down, making sure they can't re-engage. Arc and Cornball rotating over, maybe looking to counter-engage, but Lyman Nelson not there quite yet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Two ults for the Bastet and couldn't get the pick.
I mean, that just goes to show how strong the Hunter of Bast ability is. I mean, not only is it a ranged Fenrir ult, but then you have a Vortex, which is basically just swirling you in, slowing down your movement. The draft really favoring the pawns this game, and they're really using it to their advantage. And
Mm,
as we go into this, I, 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 I mean, I will say this, right? They have played around this Zeus. The Zeus has not died more than once. He's only
yeah.
died once, but Lyman Nelson in the jungle. 4 of the Catgirls here ready to punish him. Forces out the Fenrir. And a great job by the Catgirls to force it out. They do drop the kill, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that Fenrir isn't going to be terrorizing them anytime in for like the next, 60, 70 seconds.
Also, this is going full damage this game? Since I know I think pawns went, but the helmet and void, like the first 2 items, and this game the Catgirl got the Zeus and we're going ISO.
Thanatos coming in, and oh, that was a beautiful burn.
Oh,
Thanatos ult and the Ganesh and the Cupid, they used 3 resources to get it, but that's a huge pick. General Telia being one of the probably win conditions here, having this advantage, and that just goes to show the power of these Catgirls comp. If they can group like that and get a pick like that,
Fire giant.
just
I
like
feel-
UL.
I feel like going into team fights is gonna be so much worse because you're gonna have to deal with that, but on 3 people, on 4 people, maybe on 5 people. The only exception being Thanatos isn't gonna be ulting you, but that's beads out of Chiron as well. So if this Thanatos wants to keep looking to shut the General Telia down and maybe prop Chaos the Knight up a little bit more, I mean, that's gonna be huge for the Catgirls if they can put Telia in basically the dirt. But we'll see it. We'll see how they choose to play around that lack of a relic. As we're going through, and I will say, Bastet speeds is also coming up. I mean, Thanatos 2 failed ganks before that. I mean, if nothing else, I'm just seeing maybe he doesn't. Hopefully, he doesn't choose to target a different target every time, because every single time Thanatos ulted, he has gotten beats, 100%.
Yep.
But I feel like if he keeps doing this track where he's running at this one person and this one person and this one person, it might not favor them as well. As skirmish and soul lane favoring the Bastet, that sustain of Soul Eater really helping her out.
Insane state and sustain.
Yeah, Soul Eater. I played with Soul Eater sometimes, and I always forget how good the sustain is. But going back on your thing, back on what you said about the Zeus, I mean, I do see a lot of tanky things, but sometimes people just go in and Achilles locking down this Bastet with his go-go, but he's falling low and he might die for it. He might get soloed. This Bastet
Ooh.
still having Hunter. No, actually used Hunter at Bast. I didn't even notice. It's probably why JKT so low, but going in for the gank and gets kicked out of the landing, but this burn and Lyman Nelson here to clean up, and JKT, that's 0-3 now.
Time to lick my wounds.
It's gotta feel rough for the Catgirls. Their strong front line just not having a good game, falling behind. But I mean, to be fair, he's just died 3 times and he's still up a level, or he's still only down a level. As Cornball going in and Thanatos going in as well to get this Achilles down, and gonna get the beads out of Thanatos with the Fenrir ult, and they're looking to go back in. Fenrir's ulted abilities down, and
Oh god.
luring him into the Ganesha pillars. Great play from high altitude and Cornball there, but on the other side, stopping the backline of both the team, Catgirls and the Pawns. Looking at this Cold Fury and Zeus ult. Catgirls are gonna get it with the Zeus ult, and they're gonna get the little Nino as well. Holy, great turnaround by these Catgirls, getting these picks, getting these small wins in the side lanes.
That was a really good play from Zeus there.
Yeah, and you look at it, and around the same time Lyman Nelson died, Arc 5's died over, I'm assuming over at this Gold Fury. These Catgirls, they had a rough start, but none of them have really fallen behind. The only real deficit being in the ADC role, and even then he just showed that even behind he can pump the damage and get these kills, and after that he caught up. He's 3-2-0 now.
Yeah, I feel like the categories got that better team fight there.
100%. I mean, we were looking at a pawns ahead by like what 2k gold like 10 minutes ago, and thinking, wow, if they really keep pushing this is gonna really suck for the Catgirls and be rough to pull away from. But now 14 minutes in the game, gold's even just a slight bit in the advantage of the V-Catgirls, not by like a noticeable amount, but enough.
They came back in gold. They're coming back in kills as well.
I feel like you get in this late game and it's gonna be the Cupid and the Zeus that's gonna be doing a lot of things for these Catgirls. But
Pawns through kind of through their lead, but at the same time, the Catgirls played that well there.
yeah, I think I can agree a little bit that they threw a little bit of their lead, but I will also give praise to the Catgirls. I know the particular throw I think in my mind is Lineman Nelson had his 3 to get out of Ganesh ult, and decided to use it to re-engage on the Thanatos, get that kill. But the Catgirls not noticing that the pawns are on this Pyromancer, and instead focusing on this Achilles JC, maybe getting this Bastet. But the rest of the pawns are here to play, and Thanatos gonna pick up the Lineman Nelson, and Reporter Support's gonna get the Bastet as well. And Lil Nino on the stealth can't get in. He can't get close enough to do the damage he needs to. As the Catgirls are looking to maybe aggress, get this first tower, maybe even get a kill on the Thoth, but Thoth is gonna dash out, get the blink in return. But Cupid gonna solo General Telia, forces the ult, but unfortunately Chaos Tonight is not low enough for Telia to get the resurrection off down that ultimate. Great plays by all of the Catgirls now. Really woke up this game.
Yeah, maybe General might have got that kill if he has a fully stacked trance. That would have been close.
I think if he hit a second shot.
Yeah,
I think
that too.
I think he hit maybe one, maybe 2 of his 3 hits, and he definitely needed. But Thanos is really wanting this stuff. Comes back around, catches him under the T2 tower. Oh, it's turning into a bloodbath in favor of the Catgirls. JKT invading the blue buff. Lineman Nelson trying to re-aggress, but JKT is a tanky Gilgamesh, and Hunter Bass getting caught out, gets the beads, but the Reporter Support gonna take Lineman Nelson out, and JKT trying to do a little bit of damage, and unfortunately got caught without his dash there, or his jump there, so couldn't get out of the T2 tower. So great pick by Achilles JC, just trying to get some value out of the horrible engagement that just happened, and
and High Attitude put in a lot of work, and that Thanatos 5-1, and same as their ADC Chaos 4-2. Put in work right now.
Yeah, definitely a lot of work. I mean, you're looking at, like, I'm looking at the levels right now, and you got 3 levels up this Thanatos over the Fenrir. You got 3 levels up Zeus over Thoth. Thoth, supposedly the most broken, not supposedly, the most broken mid laner in the game. And then you got to level it up on both support and ADC. And then you look at gold deficit, you're 4k down as the pawns. And it's starting to look a little rough for the pawns. The table's turning a little bit from game 1.
They're gonna look for fire here.
I feel like both teams are just posturing. They're looking for a pick. You could go an early Fire Giant. I know by this point last game the pawns had already done a Fire Giant. They were already got the first one under their belts. But I mean, Catgirls, Lineman Nelson, a little bit far ahead. And this,
for them.
I mean, it's great blink, but Thanatos maybe ulting back in. I think he thought he was a little bit less safe, but Catgirl's gonna pull this Fire Giant. They're burning it fast. Pawns not gonna be able to make it there in time. Not even little Nino with his ult can make it there in time to steal the Fire Giant. Great heads up play by the Catgirls to just know that none of the pawns are gonna be there, and there's no final ult. No eyes. They have a sentry ward there. The Catgirls definitely woke up. I know first game, vision was also another problem. They fixed that problem, having the most dominant pressure over that fire giant. Even they didn't even get awarded the man's lineman's speed buff, man. Like, let the man breathe. But great wars by the Catgirls. They've definitely woken up this game compared to last one.
Yeah, but fixing the mistakes from last game with this game.
Slowly taking out these 2-2s, just getting a little bit more gold in their pockets.
I should look for a primal here.
And
The extra gold.
I will say, as far behind as the Pawns are, they do have a team comp that can fight them here, and it looks like they want to come up here a little bit, possibly, you know, take out this Gold Fury, but a little bit too slow, a little bit hesitant, maybe stopping a little bit too much, maybe, or just waiting for the re-engage, I guess, maybe waiting for someone to re-aggress afterward. Slowing down, maybe looking to reset, put some of that gold that they just earned in their pockets. And I mean, that's a whole nother item for Ross over here. And he's gotten the Divine Ruin, triple flat pen on top of an Ob Shard. Ouch to any of the tanks of the Pawns going into that.
Zeus said no defense gonna save you now.
I mean, yeah, that's 100% what this build is telling me. I mean, it's not the traditional one, so if the Pawns want to aggress, they can, but the Pawns maybe gonna try and pull up this Pyromancer and easily do, just catching the Catgirls as they have just backed and not aware that Pyromancer is here. But great signs of life, just showing that they're not afraid to go for the objectives, even if they are 7k down at 20 minutes.
Try and get every little bit they can get.
Great. I mean, it's a great play. It's a risky play because if the Catgirls were there, you might have just thrown the game if the Catgirls played that fight right. But Catgirls can take this solo side T2 and maybe look for this Phoenix Siege here. Fire Giant is kind of falling off here soon, so they don't have the most time in the world. And actually, yeah. So.
Yeah, decide. This Phoenix or not.
Yeah, they gotta decide, but great ult by Cornball, just, you know, separating out the fight, making this Sobek a little bit uncomfortable going in. Thanatos ulting in the air, looking for the Bastet, gets the Bastet. High altitude gets Telia, they get 3, triple on alignment Nelson, and Sobek running away, lurking in the water, but that isn't gonna save you from the damage. Chaos the Knight picking up the last kill, Little Nino going down for a quadra kill, and game 2 goes the Catgirls. Woo! That was a beautiful Phoenix Siege by the Catgirls.
All right, this is a way better game from the Catgirls.
100%. They woke up this game. The first game, it was started out a little rough, going 5 kills under, 6 kills under, 7 kills under, and then they come back, get 5 kills. They get a Gold Fury that's stolen from 3, just the back line alone. And then on the other side, they get the lineman Nelson and Achilles. I feel like if we see those Catgirls in game 3, the Catgirls could take this. I'm gonna be 100% real. I want to see these Catgirls again. I want to see those Catgirls. The Pawns had the comp to poke, to just pick, to be aggressive. On the other side, the Catgirls had this team fight comp that was very, very favoring them in the late game. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just really excited after watching that.
And sadly, Hyde couldn't get that Penta.
Unfortunately, Chaos Knight, you know, just robbing pentas out here, man. But great job by all the Catgirls. I mean, that Thanatos, I don't know if we were, but I can't say we, but I will definitely say I was not liking this Thanatos pick, but he really proved me wrong here. 9-1, 12k damage, the most in the entire game on this Thanatos, and boy, did it work for them.
I mean, I hope he did good, because that's his one of his tricks, or it is his one trick card, but he popped off.
Yeah, and I can also say that the backline reporter supporting Chaos Knight did a great job playing around each other. I mean, they stole Gold Fury and killed 2 off of it. But going into game 3, I don't know if I want to see the Catgirls do anything different. They did a great job, but how about the Pawns? What do you think the Pawns might want to do? I mean, they had super meta picks, and they still lost to an extraordinary amount at a certain point. So going to game 3, what do you think they should do better or change up?
Maybe I don't know. I think, well, maybe have more. In my opinion, I just think they had more like a poke and making their team fights to turn into like 4v5s. While the cat girl just had more like all around team fights, even though they didn't have a lot of CC like the pawns did. I think they did not punish their Heartsy they had in their in their comp.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little note as well. I want to see these pawns. First game they did a triple front line, letting little Nino and General Telia do whatever they freaking wanted in these fights, and I would like to see him go back to that because I know the second game they had a little bit of a greedier build, a Bastet who doesn't really want to dive in and be that front line like Shiva was the first game, and then Lineman Nelson
Yeah.
not playing a tank, he's playing Fenrir full damage, and unfortunately wasn't getting the value out of it. But yeah, that was game 2 in favor of the Cat Girls, winning that one, set 1-1 even. Whoever wins the next game will go to finals, but we'll see you guys in just a few minutes with the game 3, and it's gonna be a barn burner this next one. So hope to see you guys in just a few. Welcome back, QSL, to game number 3 between the Catgirls and the Pawns. Great set so far. First game, a little lackluster, but second game, real barn burner. Really showing that both teams are here to fight and both teams are here to make the finals. And I'm just gonna say, I hope I see the best of both teams here because I feel like we could have quite the game on our hands if it if both teams come with what Pawns game 1 and Catgirls game 2 just clashing together.
Yep. I'm hoping maybe game 3 would be like a back and forth instead of games being one-sided.
It's definitely something we can hope for, and it looks like to start with, we got similar bans. We got Alice by the Catgirls, not wanting to see that god come in here, just large damage and displacement, not really what they want to deal with, and even banning Zeus, knowing that that's been a highlight of this set.
Both teams picking up the Zeus. They said let's not let him go through this time.
Let's not let the big Thunder Man through.
Big boy damage go through.
But on the other side, just standard bans. You got Shiva. This time, the Pawns not wanting to be run into the hands of JKT, who could, with that Cthulhu, made a lot of work. So maybe with the Shiva, makes a little bit more. And Amaterasu, another pick, just fairly standard meta pick. But, I mean, we were talking about it before, and what kind of things do you think the Pawns should be changing up here going into game number 3, just with their draft?
For the Pawns, I think maybe more like a team comp, but like a dive comp, since I feel like that's how they play better, especially with Achilles, since he can likes to go in and out and like survive and do a lot of damage.
Winning or losing doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
We
dive
all
comp
show
is definitely an
talent
option,
we
but
enjoy
apparently
in the
the
end.
Pawns looking for a team fight, team fight centric fight, having both the Ganesh and the Persephone ult, maybe
None will
looking to play
cling
off
like
the
rats.
combination of
I
those
will
two.
leave
You just
standing
stick
no
them in the
barrier
Gilgamesh
to our
into the Ganesha walls with a I forgot grasp of I don't know, Persephone ult. We all know what Persephone ult is. But on the other side, that's an RDO. I feel like an RDO is gonna do a lot. I mean, you're silenced for what? A few 3-4 seconds by
Yeah,
Ganesh, and then you're just back to spamming 6 abilities.
yeah.
So RDO and Gilgamesh, I feel like that's gonna be a really strong line. And if I don't see this Gilgamesh in jungle, and there isn't a Thanatos later on, I'm gonna be a little bit hurt because if I see I will abide by RDO support. But I feel like JKT can probably make a lot better use just having the sustain.
Mhm.
Morgan Le Fay, quite interesting.
Face the
And
wrath of a sorceress
I think
scorned.
probably a really good pick here. I mean, you've got really good peel. You've got an ultimate that's CC immune, so you can get out of Persephone ult, Ganesh silence, and honestly, not a bad pick. I was at first about to like this end, then I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty darn good.
They finally pick up the Medusa this time.
Look into my
First phase.
eyes.
I mean, they banned all the pressure picks last time, second phase, the
Mhm.
Catgirls did, but they definitely want Telly on something a lot more aggressive and able to fight and do a lot more than he did last game. And honestly, I'm all for it. Just seeing a Medusa running down the dual lane is quite a scary thought.
I'm kind of looking for a Kabrakan jungle from the Catgirls.
They got Gilgamesh. What do you mean,
I'm
Gilgamesh
not
and Ardio?
Catgirls. I mean from the Pawns.
Uh, I mean, it is still an option. They have yet to pick their jungler. And they're banning out Izanami and Daji. Really good ban going into Ardio and Gilgamesh. That is probably the hardest counter there. Just like, oh, you want to run around without a CC immune? Well, let me tell you why that's a bad idea. This great draft. Great draft so far. I
Mhm.
mean, both sides looking pretty clean, very aggressive, team fight centric on the Pawns, and just a we're going to run you down comp by the Catgirls, which I don't mind either here.
Mm, So far, like both teams pick so far. Just let's see what they pick for this last two.
Yeah, I know and most people haven't banned Pele, but no, for those of you who don't know, Speedy, 529, he is a Pele master. He can play other things, as I've seen, but you give that. This is a game 3, and Speedy's here. You don't want to give him that Pele. So great heads up, great research. I would say by the Catgirls to just know that that is a pick you don't want to let through this game, this really important game 3. And the other side, banning Isan, I mean JKGT, just maybe not thinking that Achilles is gonna go Ardio.
Combats.
I mean, and the lack of a Daji, Humbat isn't a bad pickup, to be honest. That ultimate gonna really just separate out a team fight.
Yeah,
Anyone who doesn't have beats.
RCCOs, a lot of RCCOs and Beast Burner.
Mm,
No turn move.
I mean, I'll give this right. Service is good, but like, I don't know about that good. But I'm so sad.
The Camisot.
Now, this Camazotz can go solo, right?
Yep.
But I really like
Oh, it's gonna be
it's
Aria
really
support.
if they don't go RDO support with this draft, it's gonna be Gilgamesh, and I'm gonna cry even more because it's such a weird pickup. I would love the RDO in JKT's hands, but I really want this Gilgamesh in the jungle. But it is gonna look like JKT's probably gonna reprise it. I mean, we'll see when we load in, but that's just my guess. Uh, but yeah, how do you like the Cernos? I mean, I've heard good things about Cernos, and especially into Medusa. But how do you like it going into this draft?
I don't know. I kind of been seeing him get picked up a lot more as well. I mean, I think he's a good. It's a good counter against Medusa. I just think Medusa just does way more damage than the Serum. I just feel like Medusa is more impactful than the Serum.
I mean, to be fair, you cannot underestimate that Wild Hunt ultimate, though. I mean, it's a really good team fight ultimate.
Yeah.
But you are right that Medusa just does more damage, and also has the Petrify that, I mean, you might not polymorph and you're not guaranteed a stun, but you can have the stun and you can do uh, a lot of damage with it. But we're going into this, and it is looking like JKT is gonna. Mm, it's looking like that this set's gonna be really, really interesting. Especially, I'm looking forward to this Humbats and seeing how he goes around the map, as well as this Camazotz.
On jungle, go Miss Solo.
And it's interesting because Camazotz, really safe pick. Morgan Le Fay, the Spider Immobility, a really safe pick. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Catgirls do. I mean, to be fair, they played Zeus into Thoth
True.
and won by a landslide. So I'm interested to see how Ross performs on this Morgan Le Fay. See if he can pull out a similar performance. But that being said, we didn't pick up on this, right? Odin.
Oh yeah.
And I know that Odin isn't the strongest in lane, and could potentially be a problem. Like he's not the strongest in lane. Doesn't really do the most on his own.
Team
But
fights.
yeah, team fights.
Especially if you have, especially if the enemy team doesn't have like a lot of gods that can jump away from that ult.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even think about that for a second. There's literally only 2 gods in this entire thing, and it's their diving team, who's most likely not going to get locked down by that ultimate, unless Achilles JC wants to go appeal for his backline. But that's huge. You catch CERN, you catch Ardio. Ardio, a big target for that, by the way. And then, yeah, Morgan Le Fay. I mean, last game they had a problem locking down the Zeus just without getting bursted down. Morgan Le Fay not gonna have the same problem with that.
Yeah, that Odin pick is a big pick for them against their comp.
And I'm just so going into this game, right? We see what the drafts are. We see a very safe kind of pick-based comp out of the Catgirls, and then we see what the Catgirls have been doing all set on the other side on the ponds. This team fight ultimate or team fight ultimate, team fight, team comp. How are you looking at how this is gonna play out? I'm just going into this.
I feel like the pawns might have a little better edge of team fights, but I feel like in the jungle side, I think Hombat's is not like it's more like a what's it called? He's just not ult bot. He's mainly good is his freaking ult. Then you got Gilgamesh with high burst damage, can be tanky while doing damage. And then you just have Hombat just does decent amount of damage, but just really good for his ult.
Yeah, definitely gonna. I definitely agree with you that the pawns have the team fight, but I mean there is the other side that the Odin cage is gonna be huge. So I feel like this game is gonna play around right in how where Odin puts his cages, who he locks down, and then what the rest of the team does following up, because you've got Persephone ult, you've got Ganesha ult, you have. And then you have Medusa and Humbat's ult. Like, that's just a lot. There's 5 big team fight ultimates that are just giant AoE.
Yeah, it all depends how they use it and they gotta have that communication.
But I will say, I mean, we were talking about the Zeus looking really good on both teams. This Gilgamesh has also looked really good on both teams. I mean, we obviously can't. Last game, JKT didn't do the best, but in the late game, there were some good wins of Shamash, locking people down, keeping them from really running away. So if JKT can do that, even when being 3-4 kills down, I'm excited to see how he does it this game. And, maybe put a little bit more vision so you don't go 0-4 within 5 minutes of the game. But going into the start, anything pop out to you about the builds right now?
Let's see.
Molten lava cake. Don't tell anyone.
Radiant. Now, I don't know. So seems a normal build so far.
And I will say, I feel like he's been doing it every game because I've only seen Bracer of Brilliance on him, but the pawns support over here, Arc, seems to be really liking this Bracer of Brilliance start, just foregoing the extra tankiness of Emerald Gem and going toward this more aggressive. I think it's technically, I'm be honest, a better Belt of Frenzy that's permanently on the ground until, it obviously falls down, but it lasts longer.
I mean, I don't know. I think Frenzy might be better because I mean, it's like I don't know. Radiance might be it's good as well, but it can be like the enemy team can destroy it as well.
Yeah, I mean, JKT is showing why why Odin's not the strongest in lane here. Kind of getting JKT a little bit low just for clearing. But over on the duo side, I mean, I would have thought that Medusa and Ganesha outclears CERN and Ardio, but I guess I was wrong. But Speedy looking over here at the right side of the map, just looking for maybe some pressure, but high altitude already there. He's wise, and JKT right there is gonna ward Speedy away from the solo side. As both junglers going toward the mid lane, and high altitude's like looking at him, and Achilles JC getting a little bit of a better poke. I mean, guy's full health now, and JKT's not full health anymore. So, and just the Odin for a second. Got some aggression over on the duo side, and Catgirls turning it around. I mean, that was a really bad trade, but Ardio is Ardio and sustains through it. And they get the better trade. Arc 5's a lot lower than Cornball here, and it's going to limit the amount of aggression, but Chaos Knight also pretty low. This is Medusa. He's going to do a little bit more damage than Cernanos in these fights.
Gotta be careful. Medusa got that. It's better poke.
Better and easier, to be honest. And Achilles JC was really looking. If JKT didn't get his back off in time, I think that we were going to see a bird bomb, but Pawns dual lane aggressing this time. RDO getting a little bit lower than they would probably like, but this time gonna get the second purple buff. I mean, this is already a change. Game is already slowing down. Both teams showing a little bit more care and a little bit more willing to be aggressive, but not overly so. Going into the 3-minute mark, nothing really interesting happening, and at this point, what, there's like 4 kills on the board?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like last game, there were 4 kills, like under 2 minutes already from the pawns. I think they might be playing a bit safer or just slower this game.
Yeah, but slower is not favoring the Catgirls over on the solo side. As duo side, they are getting a little bit aggressive. Do get the beads out of General Telia here, but Cornball's gonna have to be a little bit careful. The Ganesh of 1 and the spit from Medusa really junking him low. But as I was saying, I mean, that's a Achilles JC over here is a level and a half up on JKT here, off of just farming. Like, I don't think JKT got this much of a deficit last game, period. But, oh, Camazov ganking the left lane, getting a double kill onto Chaos tonight. That's going to be huge for the Cernanos go, especially when the support rotates out. Being able to have that extra pressure on a Medusa. Great gank from high altitude, just immediately shutting down what General Telia and Fives can do it over here. Speedy just ticking over to level 5 recently, and not really looking to aggress, looking to just farm. And where do you think this Hoonbats should put his focus? Because I mean, you've already got an advantage in the solo lane just based off of farming alone, but we also remember Ross last game just being extremely safe. So now that the Hoonbats has ultimate, where do you think we should be seeing him going in? And JKT is solo. I'm a dip, boys. I'm a dip. As we're talking about that, I feel like mid lane's a choice. Do you agree on that one?
I'll say either the mid lane or maybe the dual lane, because you don't want the ADC gets super ahead as well. Maybe.
Yes. High altitude did get caught out, being right up on the enemy tower line and just chased down. A little bit too aggressive on the Catgirls jungler, but hopefully, I was about to say, but not too bad, and then realize you now have a Persephone with the level lead.
Yeah.
Like,
He might just play. He could play now in the mid lane since the Persephone got a little bit of lead now.
yeah. I mean,
Or he can go back in the duel and get that pressure and lead back again for the Medusa.
yeah, definitely for sure. Because when he backed, Chaos Tonight was also a level and a half up on this General Telia, and I mean, that's a rough matchup. I mean, General Telia or Chaos Tonight has already shown that he can fight in toe-to-toe with General Telia in the last game with that Cupid versus Chiron matchup. And if he with a lead this time, I feel like he can do a lot more, especially with Cernanos' Wild Hunt and just the cripple ability of his second ability. But looking at this, it is looking like just the slow as the game is going, the pawns are showcasing that they don't need to get 4 or 5 kills out just to win the game. They can just out farm their opponents here, and it's definitely starting to accrue a little bit of an uncomfortable lead. I mean, it's 500 gold right now, but 500 gold's it can turn into a bigger lead if the Catgirls aren't careful about getting these mid neutral objectives. Chaos Tonight almost gets soloed by General Telia. Does use the ultimate to try to do it, but
You got be careful because Medusa got Crusher online. She has that early damage.
Altitude being a little bit aggressive, trying to find something on this ADC now that his ultimate is down, but being a little bit wise to the ganks of Little Nino and Arc 5s there. Cornball coming around the back, just decides, oh wait, that's 3, that's 4, let's get out, but
Close call.
that was, I mean, if Cornball hadn't left when he did, Speedy was going to come around, and Speedy I have yet to see an ultimate from the Bats. So that'd just be an easy kill for the pawns. I mean, oh, hey, Cornball, you're behind 3 of us, and I'm right here. Let me just ult you so the others can get you in.
Nope.
By Cornball.
Especially have no Bs or CC autoimmune anything.
Of course. Cornball looking to try and steal some farm from Speedy. Speedy's not about wanting to kill that RDO. Bit too tanky for his liking. And then we're going into this, and I'm looking at Vision, right? And the Catgirls are doing better than 0 wards. But I think the pawns are also realizing the importance of it. And if you look over the Gold Fury side, they have a lot of vision over that Gold Fury side, making sure that if anyone's coming to this duo lane, General Talia knows. And the same thing, they can't just get a double kill. They can't put Talia behind with all these really strong deep wards. So Catgirls are going to have to get a little bit creative about how they gank this Medusa going forward.
Mid lane by herself.
And yeah, Reporter support getting a little bit too far up and forces out the ultimate from Speedy, Ganesha as well to get that kill. And Persephone even, and this is going south very quickly for the Catgirls. Whom bats? No, Persephone picks up Cornball here. Hamazotz comes out of that out of hell. Cernos coming in with a great Wild Hunt ability, but Medusa with a better Petrify. High Altitude does pick up 1, but General Talia picks up Chaos tonight on the backside. 4 for 1, favoring the pawns there. Maybe looking for 5. I mean, Achilles JC really wanted that one. I mean, looking at the fight, like, you gotta wonder, right? Last game, Ross, like, JKT, they saw JKT was the win con. And second game, Ross became that win con when JKT kept getting stubbed farther and farther, lower and lower than the Bastet. And you gotta think, on the side of the Catgirls, a little bit of an oversight just to let this Morgan Le Fay, who, same ability as Zeus, doesn't have a giant field on him. It's a little bit of oversight as well. Morgan Le Fay also had ultimate there as well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, just
I mean, he might not still survive because I think he like had 3 or 4 people on him.
yeah, I mean, it still has this great self-sustain. His team was right behind him, but yeah, it is a little bit rough. I mean, after that fight, the level lead we saw out of Chaos tonight is now null, and Achilles JC getting invaded by High Altitude, maybe trying to put a little bit of pressure back on JKT, maybe realizing that they might need this Gilgamesh a little bit more in the late game than they did last game. And
They could look for a goal here since they have 2 people in zone.
yeah, I mean, that's 2 people over in solo, and the pawns very quick on that, and no vision from the Catgirls. Again, this problem of vision, and Cornball gonna get caught by the ultimate, and if the pawns won, they are gonna get this kill.
Oh.
Ganesh just a little bit off the mark, and Moonbats is going to use his ultimate. 3 ultimates for the support. I can understand going for the gold, but I feel like 3 ultimates is maybe a little bit too much to throw on Cornball. They do eventually get the kill, but now they don't have 3 really strong teamfight ultimates to fight for, say, if they wanted to go fight for Pyro. But Catgirls, seeing that everyone's over there, grabs the Pyromancer while they're distracted with Cornball. Again, 3 ultimates for support, and you still lost out an objective. As Speedy coming around, still, again, no ultimate, isn't going to have the best gank against JKT, and JKT can be wise to it, but he doesn't have a T1 tower, and Odin will stop him. and unfortunately, isn't not much you can do there. I mean, I didn't realize the T1 tower's down until I saw him walking past where it was supposed to be. But great ultimate by the Odin here to lock him down there to make sure you cannot run away.
Yep, he waited for that jump and used ultimate right after he jumped it.
I mean, the pawns, like the pawns waking up a little bit, making this game, pushing this game a little bit more in their favor with these team fight ultimates. But Catgirls, yet again, running into this little early rut that they've shown in the last couple games, and here's the hoping that they don't run into that again, or run into what they happened in game 1.
Oh, pawns again having a goalie again. They should try to punish the lead, but just not overcommit on something.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going into this next game, and going into it, we're looking at the, I was saying looking at the builds, and then XP, 6K down on the Catgirl side though for XP though. I mean, that's a lot of levels. I mean, 1 in solo, 2 in jungle. That being said, I'm looking at Ross. Ross was a level down. Persephone's 2, 1, and 4 to his 0 and 1. Ross is the same level.
He might have been farming.
Yeah, man's definitely been fun. Going into these team fights, I mean, just noticing that the XP differential and the definite gold deficit that they're at. How do you think the V-Catgirls can come back from this? Like, I'm thinking playing around the Morgan, but what are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on the team fights going forward for these Catgirls? Speedy almost gets wild hunted. Great use by KS the Knight to stop him there, but yeah, we're going. I'm trying to like talk about what going forward, and V-Catgirls are looking for a little bit more high altitude, looking along a little bit on the side with I Am Cornball here. They're looking for something, but KS the Knight's just like, I want my wave, man. As the rest of the pawns closing in 4 on this Ardio, and they might go for this purple buff, but it looks like Cam was also get it for free.
Not bad looking for the red. Oh, you got it.
Bats had all the room for that, so that's not gonna work on the obelisk. And 4 members of the V-Catgirls are here looking to aggress. Speedy's jump is down, but he has to use the ultimate to peel himself out. Late beats by high altitude. Maybe a little bit earlier and he could have caught up there, but reporter support coming up along the backside. Great disengage from these pawns, knowing that the V-Catgirls really want to come in, but early rotation from JKT catches the Ganesha, and Ganesha ult is forced on. He's almost dead. Persephone ult done, but it isn't going to save the Ganeshas. They keep going forward. Gilgamesh ult going in, catches little Nino's beads, and high altitude looking for more, but getting a little bit too greedy, diving that T2, gets caught by Lil Nino, and the damage from Speedy as well. Now it's a 4v4 in mid. General Telly coming around the side, and I Am Cornball a little bit far up, gets caught by the Odin ult, and there's not a whole lot of other ults. If he can dodge this out, he can get out of the thing. Great peel from Ross there. Great wild hunt locking down Speedy. If they're going to get Speedy on the back end of it. Humbat's down. Achilles does pick up JKT down to follow though. 2 for 2 so far going into this fight, and looks like the Catgirls are looking to disengage. Maybe not liking their odds now going into the rest of this. And that was
good trades.
I mean, I feel like this is just a showcase that the Catgirls 5v5. Like they don't really want to be fighting in the lane. I feel like that's why the pawns get such early advantages. But they are being a little bit overzealous, not being quite, a Thanatos, but instead of Camazotz, and being a little over aggressive, costing them two, to be honest. I mean, they get an extra kill out of it, but maybe Catgirls look to going forward to do something, be a little, maybe not dive at T2 tower. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't dive at T2 tower.
Yeah, I feel like they should wait for at least a combat soul, or almost, I'd say maybe just wait for the Odin just to use his ult, and they can like just overcommit into a fight. And still be just locked down. You just can't run disengage when they want to.
This Gold Fury fight, and Pond starting the fight up a little bit. And Ross a little bit, or knowing what's happening, is trying to go for the steal, but he's gonna get caught out. Hoon Bat's ult coming out to lock him down, but down goes Ross, being a little bit too far up. As Achilles JC gonna blink and try and catch someone at the back end of it. Doesn't get much value out of it, but here we are. Going in, they're just walking over to Pyromancer, making sure the same thing doesn't happen. And it's the Pond's really just looking at the objectives here now. It's definitely very much going not the Catgirls' way. I mean, the mistakes they made in game 2, they're starting to work on it a little bit.
Catgirl just can't let them have free objectives like that. They gotta be on point, have them wars up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was praising them about, like, you know, having better wards at the, you know, start of the game, and they do have a decent amount of wards on the right, left side map, but on the right side, getting caught unawares with that Pyromancer. There's 0 wards. I don't see a single blue ward over there. Goodness gracious. I mean,
At this point in time, they should be having, since like there's no goal left, just like since they got the goal, they should be setting up wards for this fire. Since there's nothing on the left side, they should be worried about this right side.
I mean, the right side. I mean, Pyromancer, Gold Fury, as you said, are down, and if they don't get wards over there, the Pawns could sneak a Fire Giant. They might not have the best shred for it, or confirm. To be honest, I mean, they have to confirm with Petrified, but like,
Yeah, but they will have a lot of time and they won't even know. They'll be honest.
definitely something that the Catgirls gotta be aware of going forward. And as Pawns are starting to group up around this Fire Giant, the 3 frontliners kind of being over there, but going back to farming. Yeah, normal here going forward. Speedy looking to go on Cornball, having 3 there, but high altitude behind 3. Speedy does get the monkey out on the high altitude, but is crippled, so he can't teleport to it. Cornball maybe gonna get caught out by this Achilles JC. Hans grouping up as 5 going into this mid lane, maybe looking to get a pick, either get this tower or Phoenix or, you know, Fire Giant. I don't know, but it is definitely looking like that. I mean, you know, V-Catgirls responding in kind. Chaos the Knight just coming out of base toward the mid lane, and it's looking like the Pawns do want to fight, but they're going to go farm. And Catgirls want to fight even more, going for the Achilles, but unfortunately,
Poke out Achilles.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they just didn't have the lockdown. I mean, you don't have the Cernanos there with the Bramble Blast. You don't got JKT there with the Dropkick. It's a little bit unfortunate not being able to get that pick there. And both teams just kind of brawling here in mid. I mean, not really doing much damage, but kind of just letting each other know, like, we want to fight. Kind of open up something. We're going.
They gotta be careful here. They fire here.
Yeah, I mean, that was the. I mean, if I was the Pawns, that's my go button. You just watch all of them, but they're choosing to maybe check around, be a little bit safer, and now they're going for the Fire Giant. Seeing Chaos tonight all the way in the left lane, knowing that if the Catgirls come to defend this, there's a 4v5, and even Ross not being there. And you got Achilles JC being a little bit far up, but JKT tries to go defend it on his own, but no, the Catgirls being really slow to respond. Communication becoming a huge problem here for them. And going in, Persephone ult does catch Ross, gets his speed. Odin ult coming, like, locking him down. Unfortunately, the ult's a little bit too late for his sustain, and I Am Cornball is going to pick up Speedy, but Achilles JC is on Chaos tonight. Going forward, Petrify does catch 2, gets 2 beads, and Chaos, the Catgirls in a very, very difficult predicament here. I mean, the Pawns are probably not going to be able to get fire unless they get some crazy sustain, but there is a likelihood they could do it. I mean, I said they can't, but like, that's a semi-healthy Ganesha, that's a semi-healthy Odin, and they are looking for it. Trying to go for the grab, and Catgirls not aware that they could go back for it, or just farming elsewhere. I mean, like, high altitude though, looking for something. I mean, he doesn't have that bat out of hell. That's safety. Not there. And
they gotta drop it now.
yeah, just showing face. That's all you gotta do sometimes. going into that fight, I mean, what do you think went wrong for the Catgirls in that last fight, in that last firefight?
It was either a miscommunication or maybe JK, since they have no words in fire, maybe it was miscommunication, or JKT thought maybe the fire giant was slow, so he just blinked in and just dropped his whole kit in there. I think
Yeah,
this got demolished.
I mean, you're a one-man Gilgamesh. Just High Altitude is looking for this Pyromancer, trying to pull it as his team is right behind him. Chaos tonight, maybe not having nothing, but Catgirls being aggressive, knowing that some massive ultimates are down. Gets 3 ultimates out of the start of that fight. High Altitude diving the backline there, maybe looking to get General Talia. Gets it with the dot on the 2, and Reporter support going in, ulting, getting some extra damage on this Odin, and they're gonna just handily win that fight, getting the pick on Speedy and, or not Speedy, General Talia. Oh, that best possible target. And they're going for this fire giant. They're trying to burn it as quickly as possible. Hans not quite ready to let them go and have it for free. Comes back. No ultimates though available for them as V-Catgirls looking to go back in. Cornball does fall, but High Altitude might as well to this Odin. I mean, you get Speedy again, but that's unfortunate. I mean, we're gonna lose Chaos tonight as well. That's 2 for 3 in favor of the Pawns, and neither side's able to get the fire giant out of this either. General Talia still down for 15 seconds, but Achilles JC looking for Ross here. Good looking for the spear. Ross does peek around the corner just in time to make sure the Gungnir's might can't hit him. Oh, great, great fights from both teams. A little bit sloppy, but I mean, neither side got fire giant. Both teams played that really, really well.
These Catgirls gotta put wards though, because the pawns knew where exactly each player was.
Even then, I mean, I feel like I'm watching this, right? And I feel like most of these fights are coming out for the Catgirls when Chaos Tonight's off farming, when Ross is farming, when JKT's going in on his own, and General Talia and Lil Nino are gonna try and, you know, just take this Gold Fury, just knowing that the V-Catgirls don't have vision. They haven't been on this side of the map for like 5 minutes. And they're just gonna get a Gold Fury for free, and Catgirls hearing this Gold Fury go off are gonna go for this Pyromancer, assuming that the majority of the team went off, but Speedy and Achilles JC here, but 5 of the Catgirls there, gets the Hoonbats ult, and V-Catgirls secure the Pyromancer, and get 2 ults out of 2 ults for it. I mean, that's 2 huge ults as well. Like, they get Starfire and they don't have to worry about the freaking Hoonbats ult, but 2 members of the V-Catgirls up here, maybe looking to get a little bit aggressive, but 4 members there surrounding them, and Genitalia is gonna get High Altitude. Arc 5, no ultimate, but steal this, but High Altitude. High Altitude? No, Ross doing the damage, and Cornball getting potentially caught out here, but fortunately Arc 5 doesn't land the abilities, and neither do any of the rest of the teams, and that's 4 members with Fire Giant. Catgirls just steal it away with their frontline, or while their dive just zones.
Yep, they're kind of low, so they can kind of push up for these towers here.
Yeah, I mean, Cornball away from his team, and Hoonbats most likely have a great 4-man stun as the rest of the V-Catgirls push in, looking to re-aggress on this team as they defend this T2. JKT a little bit too far up, is getting bursted very quickly and falls to Lil Nino. And unfortunately, like, they needed the entirety of the V-Catgirls there, and we just unfortunately they just didn't have the damage to push back kill. And that's another member without Fire Giant, and it's gonna make the push a little bit harder, but V-Catgirls still got it on the important people. You got it on your mage, you got it on your hunter, and you got it on your support. Someone to tank and 2 people to do DPS. Now that we're yeah, and now that we're going into these sieges, I mean, looking at the 2 comps, we obviously know Pawns have a great team fight, but none of these sieges. How do you think these sieges are gonna play out? I mean, the Catgirls very good dive team, but like, you're going into Ganesh, you're going into Talia or Medusa, Odin. So how do you think the Pawns are gonna are gonna play this, or Catgirls, or how it's gonna go.
Since they can play safe here and just wait for them to engage, and they'll just make them waste like their jumps and stuff, or abilities to get out this holding cage and just lock them down inside the tower, or just play it safe.
Those 5 members of the Pawns looking here, defending their T2, knowing that Gilgamesh is in the middle lane, maybe looking to get some sort of pick here, get some farm, and they are all 5-man rotating into the mid lane. JKT unaware, might get caught out, but these 3 of them does back off just in time. So the rest of his team, high altitude, looking to make Little Nino a little bit uncomfortable in this fight. Does catch some damage and is forced to use the bat out of hell as the rest of the team comes back. I am Cornball, Yankee. Can potentially get bursted down. High altitude, throwing the damage he needs. Odin Cage, huge, catches the canvas. It's right on the Ganesh. Ganesh ultimate. JKT also falls to the Hoonbat's ultimate. And that's 4 for the Pawns there. Might be 5 going forward. And this is looking very, very unfortunate for the Catgirls. I mean, you just lost your entire team. This could be game. They have General Talia. They have 2 tanks. The Pawns are looking to end this.
They should run this lane down. They got an ADC, so they can. I think they can end the game. They have a lot of time here. They can trade this quick.
I mean, all the members of the V-Catgirls fell basically one after the other, the latest being Chaos Tonight. And you've still got 20 seconds, like 15
and
seconds on
all
the nearest person. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be game. Just to throw out an ultimate. But game 3 goes the way of the Pawns, and we'll be seeing the Pawns going to the finals. And great games from both sides, but unfortunately the V-Catgirls were just not able to pull it out in the 3rd game. Unfortunate, but good game for the Pawns.
Nope. Nope. Good games. Good team fights overall.
Yeah, it was definitely back and forth. That game was a lot back and forth, but it definitely favored the Pawns a lot more. They got the better kills. Their ultimate was very much a fight for team fights, and unfortunately the Catgirls didn't draft around their playstyle, the same playstyle that the Pawns just took from underneath them, and it is a little bit rough there. And we're just looking at this, it's a little bit rough just going forward. Just, I don't know. The Catgirls definitely did their best, but the Pawns just showed up, maybe showed that they wanted to win a little bit better. Any remarks on this, Louis?
I think they both sides played pretty good. I just think just the Catgirls gotta have that, put the wards, just have the wards up just in time for objectives, or just have the ward just up all the time around the objectives, because they just be sneaking in there, just getting it freely. But overall, they played pretty good.
Good games from both sides. Great 2-1 set, and very, very fun to watch all throughout. And we'll be right back with you guys in just a little bit. I believe we are doing an interview, so we'll figure out who we're doing an interview with in this intermission. We'll see you guys just in a few with him. Hello, Quack and Smite League. Welcome back. We've got Speedy529 here, the jungler for the Pawns here, 2 of the 3 games. And Speedy, you guys had a really standout performance. What was your thought processes going into this set here against the Cat Girls?
Uh, we wanted to focus a lot on teamwork, really. My big thing as jungler is to try to work with the team. So my god pool before this season was like 2 or 3 gods. However, I purposely make sure to work on gods that the team wanted to work with. So, and that teamwork allowed us to succeed quite well for the set.
Yeah, I mean, I last time I've talked to you, Speedy, it's been a while. I'm sorry, but all I knew was you played Pele and very well, and a couple other gods, and you really showcased that you've done a lot of work this season, learning these new picks, and especially that Gilgamesh and Hoombat's doing very good work in these just setting up the rest
Yep.
of your team for success. And
Mhm.
what kind of you guys were playing very divey kind of picks for the rest of the set, but what was I'm just trying to think because I was about to ask the same exact question, just reworded. um, going into this, I know I said jungler, but you are the sub. But how did you feel about like taking like being like kind of the more main jungler this role, playing 2 out of the 3 games, going for your team?
I absolutely love it. It brings me so much joy to be able to play. That big thing last season was I didn't get to play much, so being able to be utilized is a massive thing for me. I'm very appreciative of Nino for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it looked very good. I mean, very good. And going forward, you guys are going to finals next time, up against the Cookie Cutters. Cough, cough. Going into that, how do you guys feel about going into that one? Just kind of what things are you thinking about going into that one?
Um, last game I wasn't there. I was actually out of town, so that's why I wasn't able to play any of the set. However, from what I heard of it, we just weren't in a great mental state for that time. So we're gonna make sure that we're clicking and meshing together a lot better than we were for that set, and we think that we'll be able to take it from there.
Okay, well said, Speedy. Said. Well, congratulations, Speedy. Congratulations to the Pawns as well. The whole team, great showing today, and we hope to see a lot going into finals. That being said, I think that's that's the set today from the Cat Girls versus the Pawns today. Pawns going 2-1, going to finals, and we look forward to seeing what happens going forward and finishing this season. But have a good night, Kraken Smite League. There is another game out on the other channel if you guys would like to tune into that. But yeah, for now, this has been Sir Ionicus and Louis.
It's been a fun game to watch. It was really and to see you, Speedy, in the finals or whoever goes finals.
Have a good one, Quack and Smite League, and we'll see you next time.